This week we're going to look at what I call root note maps, and this is one method to gain confidence with playing through chord progressions, particularly as you move away from the open position and start getting into bar chords. The map is essentially a scale pattern because other than their obvious use in your lead playing and soloing, a scale will give you the location of each root note in any major or minor key. The chord shapes you use will of course then depend upon which scale pattern you're using and upon which string you find the chosen note. To start things off, we're going to be on string number 6 with the G major scale, the key of G. So that is the notes of G, A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp, the major scale. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and half. Okay. So each of those notes in the scale, we assign a number, what we call the scale degree, and that is like a shorthand to show the relationship of that particular note back to the root. In the same way we apply these scale degrees, we can also assign each note a Roman numeral, and these refer to the chords in the key of G, uppercase numerals being major chords and lowercase being minor chords. As a quick review, the major chords will be upon the 1, 4, and 5. The 2, 3, and 6 will be the minor chords, and upon the 7th note of the scale, we will find a diminished chord or a diminished triad. Now, we don't see the diminished triad very much in chord progression, so we're just going to put that to the side today and focus upon the 3 major and 3 minor chords in the key. So with our root note on string number 6, we're going to be thinking about E-shape chords. The open E chord is rooted upon string number 6, and so if we make that a movable form, we can use that for our chords in the key. Remembering that we're going to have the major shape upon the 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6. Now that 6, we're up at the 12th fret, so we could play that in the open position. Remembering that the scale pattern, whilst it can go up towards the body, it can also go down towards the nut, so that scale can be found behind the root as well as above. Now, just playing through those chords is a great way, firstly, to be revising the chords in the key, and it's also a good technique exercise, particularly if you're just getting started with bar chords and developing the fretting hand strength. Now, using that approach alone will result in the fretting hand doing a lot of jumping around. If we consider a 1, 6, 3, 4 progression, would be G to E minor, B minor to C. Okay, so I'm jumping from here. Now I could of course use this one here, but then up to here for the B minor and here for the C, okay? So it's not ideal unless that's the sound you're going for. A better approach and root note map number 2 would be a 3 note per string approach, in which we start in the same way with the G, A, B. But what we're going to do is take that C, D, E and place it on the string below towards the floor. So the C, D, E are found in the same frets on string 5. So G, A, B, C, D, E. It's quite easy to remember because you've got that whole step on string 6 and the exact same whole step on string number 5. If you're wondering where the half step went, it's actually in the string change. As you move from the B to the C, there is the half step. Whole step, half step, whole step. Okay, so again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is a better approach because it finds the chord shapes more readily under the fretting hand, but we do now have some root notes on string 5, so we need to have another chord shape. When we're rooting on string 5, orientating the fretting hand towards the body, we're going to be thinking in terms of A shapes, the open A major and A minor. Okay, that becomes a movable form when we use the index finger as the bar. I like to use finger number 3 for the bar finger. You can of course use all 4 fingers. But that then is our 4 chord and the 5 chord, and then the 6 would be in that 7th fret with the A minor shape in the fretting hand. Just a quick technique tip. Use the tip of the index finger to touch string 6 as you root on string 5, and that will stop it from ringing out. Our 1, 6, 3, 4 then in this particular arrangement will give us the 1, 6, 3, and 4. So 1, 6, 3, 4. Now then as you get to this point, you have the option to maybe go up to the 4 here. We can grab it there, okay? Starting to give yourself some more options now. The big benefit of using these root note maps and assigning these numbers to the chords is that you can very easily move to a different key or transpose the progression. If I move up to the B flat in the 6th fret of string 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's all identical. The chord shapes will be identical, but this time we're in the key of B flat. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And our progression in B flat will be 1, 2. And nothing changes, it's all the same. You can then use any major scale as a root note map to form your chord progressions. Taking another example, maybe staying with the B flat root note, the major scale that can be formed around that chord, what I call the E shape of the major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root, okay? So that again gives us another root note map to play through our progression. We have the 1 chord, I'm still with the E shape, the 2 chord will be E minor shape, the 3 chord will be the A minor, the 4 is the A shape, the 5 then I could stay with the A shape, but that takes you a little out of the position, so I would prefer you to start using the C shape, so orientated around that C shape octave. And then that keeps the fretting finger 1 in position for the 6th chord. Now that 6th chord is then rooted on string number 4, so we have to introduce another chord shape when rooted on string 4, the fretting hand orientated towards the body. That we're thinking in terms of the D shape, the open D or D minor chord shape. Release the index and that becomes movable. So we were on the chord of G minor, okay, in the D minor shape. Our progression then in this area gives us something like this, so 1, 6, 3 to 4. 1, 6, 3, 4. A quick chord tip here, any major key progression, the minor chords within that can be substituted very easily for a minor 7. Okay, so any minor chord in a major key progression, you can use the minor 7. As an example, 1, 6, 3, 4. So I'm using that minor 7 grip in the D shape and the A minor 7 shape. And there we go. Just to complete the set, you could say, we've considered the major scale when we started upon finger number 1. We've considered it starting on finger 2. There is one more shape which finds us starting on finger 3, or indeed the pinky finger, which goes this way. This is what I would consider then the G shape is formed around this movable G chord form. Okay, so once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that 6 could be found on string 6 at the 3rd fret. So our chords here then, we have, as I mentioned, a G shape 1 chord. We have an A minor, we'll go minor 7 there. For the 2, use the same grip for the 3. The 4 chord, use that C shape. The 5 chord, we're into the D shape. And then the 6th chord, rooted here, we could use the D minor form, or keeping the hand, this finger 1 within the 3rd fret, we've got the top end of that E minor shape for the 6, rooted on string 4 or string 6, and we're back to the 1. So once again, our chord progression would be a little something like this: 1, 6, 3, 4. Each scale pattern or root note map then gives you different options and possibilities for your chord choices, and I'd really encourage you to go for the ones that you're less familiar with. Really test yourself with your bar chords, get into those C shape or even G shape chords. So what I'd recommend you do to work this is to take some common major key progressions, choose yourself one particular root note map, maybe the one that is less familiar to you, choose yourself a particular root note or area of the fretboard, and then try playing through maybe some of these common progressions. So once you start seeing these chord shapes, then you can start seeing where the good notes are for improvising or soloing over that same progression. These chord shapes start to inform arpeggios and pentatonics and 7-note scales. Tabs and a chart with the root note maps will be available to all members of my Patreon group. You can help support my work here, get exclusive bonuses for as little as $3 per month. You can find out more about the group and consider joining us via the link in the description or in the video cards. These ideas are covered in much more detail in my video courses and ebooks. Of particular interest for this, in terms of guitar theory, would be Guitar Buster's Essential Theory. If you'd like to get more into the caged chords and my complete guide to fretboard fluency, then you want to check out Guitar Blueprint. You can find out more about those via my online shop with the link again down below or in the video cards. And while you're there, don't forget to grab your free copy of Fretboard Mastery. That's my guide to learning the notes of the fretboard in just a few days. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget a like, and do consider subscribing if you're new to the channel, remembering as you do so to ring that bell icon not to miss any future videos. Thank you very much, you practice well, and I'll see you next time.